belongs to the Ng Bagong Lipunan, a BL Coin Series of the Philippines, which was issued under the regime of President Ferdinand Marcos. This coin is more than just money. It carries political, historical, and cultural symbolism that reflects the Philippines in the early 1980s. The coin features the bust of Andres Bonifacio, the father of the Philippine Revolution, and one of the most important heroes in Philippine history. Bonifacio is best remembered for founding the Katipunan, the secret revolutionary society that ignited the 1896 revolution against Spanish rule. His image on the coin is a tribute to nationalism and the struggle for independence. Alongside Bonifacio's portrait, the inscription Republica Ng Pilipinas and the year of minting, 1984, are present. The reverse side displays the coat of arms of the Philippines used during the Marcos administration. Below it appears the text, Bangko Sentral Ng Pilipinas Central Bank of the Philippines, also scribed as the denomination. Dalawang Piso de Pesos. The Piso coin of 1984 was introduced at a time when the Philippines was undergoing major political and economic challenges. By the early 1980s, the country was facing a debt crisis, rising inflation, and economic instability. President Marcos declared the continuation of his new society, Bagong Lipunan program, which emphasized nationalism, discipline, and economic reforms. Coins from the ABL series reflected this agenda, often featuring heroes of the Philippine Revolution to inspire unity and patriotism. This coin is notably large and heavy compared to present-day coins, which is why it stands out in collections. The late 1980s, after the People Power Revolution of 1986 and the ouster of Ferdinand Marcos, the Philippine coinage system was redesigned under President Corazon Aquino. The large Piso coin of 1984 was eventually discontinued and replaced with smaller, lighter coins in the 1990s. However, the 1984 Piso remains significant because it was one of the last coins minted under Marcos before the fall of his regime. It honors Andres Bonifacio, a symbol of Filipino courage and resistance. Its size and design make it a nostalgic piece for collectors and Filipinos who lived during that period. The 1984 Piso coin is considered a collectible item, especially in uncirculated or proof condition. Common circulated pieces are usually worth slightly more than. Its value is more historical than monetary. It represents a key chapter in the Philippines' political and economic history. 1980 for Philippine Piso coin is a large brass coin from the Ng Bagong Lipunan series, featuring Andres Bonifacio. It symbolizes patriotism and revolution. While its issuance under the Marcos government links it to a period of both nationalism and political unrest, today it serves as a historical and collectible piece reflecting BSP Coin Series, a currency series introduced by the Bangko Sentral Ng Pilipinas in 2000 and used until it was replaced by the New Generation Currency Coin Series in 2018. This coin was born out of the need for a higher denomination in circulation, mainly due to inflation and increased consumer spending during the late 1990s and early 2000s. The year 2000, the highest denomination Philippine coin was the 5 Piso. However, due to rising prices, the BSP realized that a higher value coin was needed for everyday transactions. The 10 Piso banknote, which had been in circulation for decades, was wearing out too quickly, costing the government more money to replace. Coins, being more durable, were the logical solution. Thus, the bimetallic 10 Piso coin was introduced in 2000, and by 2005, it had become one of the most familiar coins in the country. The 2005 version maintained the same design elements as earlier issues but carried a different mint year. Displays the portraits of Apolinario, Mabini, and Andres Bonifacio, two of the most respected figures in Philippine history. Andres Bonifacio, founder of the Katipunan Revolutionary Society, which fought for independence from Spain. Apolinario Mabini, known as the brains of the revolution, he served as the first prime minister and foreign minister of the First Philippine Republic. The pairing of Bonifacio and Mabini on one coin is symbolic. They represent two sides of the Philippine struggle for independence. Bonifacio represents revolutionary action and the fight on the battlefield. Mabini represents wisdom, diplomacy, and governance. The inclusion of both leaders emphasizes the idea that the fight for freedom requires both courage and intellect. The 2005 issue came at a time when the Philippine economy was stabilizing after the Asian financial crisis of 1997. The BSP increased coin production to meet growing demand. especially for high-value coins that could last 10 to 15 years in circulation compared to paper notes, which only last around 1 to 2 years. 2005, the coin had already gained widespread public acceptance, and its distinct bimetallic design made it harder to counterfeit, an important factor since the 10 Piso was among the most targeted denominations for fakes in the early 2000s. Most 2005 10 Piso coins were mass-produced for circulation, making them common in everyday use. However, collectors still value coins in uncirculated mint condition, especially those with strong details and no wear. Some varieties, like off-center strikes or misaligned inner cores, are considered rare mint errors and can fetch higher prices among numismatists. The 1 Piso coin from this period retained the general design introduced in the 1990s, but carried minor adjustments in mintage quality and production. The Philippines, in 2000, was undergoing political and economic transitions. President Joseph Isidro Estrada was in office, and while the coin bore no direct political image, aimed to modernize Philippine coinage and enhance durability for everyday circulation. Features José Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, a revolutionary thinker, writer, and martyr whose life and works inspired the Philippine Revolution against Spanish rule. Inscription: Republica ng Pilipinas, appears at the top, affirming national identity. The portrait style is based on historic imagery of Rizal, adapted for modern minting technology in the late 20th century. Design significance: the BSP seal symbolizes the country's monetary authority, its independence, and commitment to financial stability. Silvery appearance due to nickel coating, which was more resistant to corrosion compared to earlier copper-nickel alloys. During this period, the Philippines was recovering from the 1997. The 1 Piso coin, though still a key part of daily transactions, had slightly reduced purchasing power due to inflation. Still, it remained widely used for the BSP minted millions of the 2001 Piso coins, making them common in circulation. However, coins in uncirculated condition or with mint errors, misstrikes, off-center designs, doubled dies are considered collectible by numismatists. Brilliant, uncirculated, slightly higher, often between Philippine peso 10 Philippine peso 34 centimo, played a significant role in everyday commerce as it was widely used in jeepney, fairs, small purchases, and public vending machines. The obverse side features the portrait of Juan Luna y Novicio, 1857 to 1899, a Filipino painter, sculptor, and political activist during the Spanish colonial era. Juan Luna was one of the most celebrated artists in Philippine history, known for his masterpiece Spoliarium, which symbolized the oppression of Filipinos under Spanish rule. His presence on the 25 centimo coin was meant to honor the contributions of Filipino intellectuals and artists in shaping the nation's identity. The inscription Republica ng Pilipinas appears above his portrait. The year 2002 is engraved at the bottom, marking its minting year. The reverse side carries the official coat of arms of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas (BSP), which replaced the older central bank seal used in previous coin series. Surrounding the seal is the text Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and the year 1993, which commemorates the establishment of the BSP after it replaced the old Central Bank of the Philippines (CBP). The denomination 25 centimo is also clearly inscribed, ensuring easy recognition in circulation. During the early 2000s, the 25 centimo coin was still actively used in daily transactions. Jeepney and bus fares often required exact change, and small kiosks accepted it for candies, snacks, or newspapers. However, as inflation continued to rise in the Philippines, the purchasing power of the 25 centimo gradually decreased, making it less common in circulation. By the late 2010 South 25 centimo of 2002 not only served as a medium of exchange but also as a symbol of Filipino culture and history. Featuring Juan Luna, tied the currency to the nation's struggle for freedom and artistic pride, while the BSP seal emphasized the country's economic independence and modernization. After the establishment of the new central bank, while not considered rare, the 2002 25 centimo is of interest to collectors as part of the complete BSP Coin Series 1995 to 2017. Coins in uncirculated condition or proof versions can fetch a higher price than face value. Over time, these coins may gain historical value as they represent a transitional period before the Philippines released its new generation currency in GC Coin Series in 2018, which eventually replaced the old BSP coins. 2000 to 25 centimo coin is more than just a piece of small change. It carries with it the story of a Filipino national hero, the modernization of the Philippine economy, and the daily lives of Filipinos during the early 21st century. The denomination of 25 centavos centimo traces back to the Spanish colonial era in the Philippines. When Spain ruled the islands, coins were struck in denominations based on the Spanish real and peso. After independence struggles and the transition into American colonial rule 1898 to 1946, the 25 centavos became a permanent fixture of Philippine coinage. Under U.S. administration 1903 to 1945, the 25 centavos featured striking designs, such as a woman with a hammer and an anvil, symbolizing industry, and Mount Mayon in the background. During the Commonwealth period 1935–1946, the coin design carried symbols of sovereignty, often with the Philippine coat of arms alongside the American eagle. Post-independence 1946 onwards, the 25 centimo was localized further, featuring Filipino heroes and national symbols. Thus, by the time the 2000 to 25 centimo coin was issued, the denomination already carried nearly a century of evolution in design, politics, and culture. The choice of Juan Luna Bonifacio was highly symbolic. He was not only a painter but also a revolutionary figure. His paintings, especially Spoliarium, stirred national consciousness and encouraged Filipinos to question Spanish colonial oppression, placing Luna on the 25 centimo coin aligned with a broader government effort to embed patriotism into daily life. Each time a Filipino handled the coin, they were reminded of Luna's artistry and heroism. Luna's presence also highlighted that heroes are not only soldiers or politicians but also thinkers, writers, and artists, a message that resonated deeply in a country that values creativity and nationalism. 2002 was a critical period in Philippine economic history. The country was under President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, who assumed office in 2001. Inflation was relatively moderate, but small denominations like 25 centimo were still important in transportation and retail trade. Jeepney fares, tricycle rides, and sari-sari store small neighborhood shop prices frequently required the use of this coin. Although its value was small, the coin ensured pricing accuracy and helped maintain trust in the monetary system. The reverse side of the coin, featuring the BSP seal, represented more than just a ascendancy of Ferdinand Marcos. This series was launched in the mid-1970s as part of a wider reform of the Philippine currency system, following the shift from the earlier Filipino series that began in the 1960s. The introduction of the BL coins reflected not just economic changes but also political influence, as Marcos sought to imprint his regime's legacy on Philippine money. The 10 centimo denomination itself has deep roots in Philippine numismatics dating back to the American colonial era, when the centavo system was first adopted to align the Philippine currency with the US dollar. By the 1980s, the coin had become one of the smallest in face value, but it retained its place as an important fractional unit of the Philippine peso. 198–10 centimo features the portrait of Francisco Baltasar. Francisco Balagt is the great Filipino poet and literary genius of the 19th century. Known as the Prince of Tagalog poets, Balagtas symbolized the richness of Filipino language and culture. His works, especially Flora and Flora, were essential in shaping Filipino identity, particularly during times of foreign influence and colonization. Placing his portrait on the coin underscored the value of culture and heritage. During a period of political change, around his portrait appears the inscription Republica ng Pilipinas, affirming national pride, and the coin's date, 1982, sits at the bottom, marking the year of mintage. The reverse side of the coin displays the national coat of arms of the Philippines, featuring the eagle, lion, and stars. Surrounding it is the inscription, Hindi Bagang Lipunan, which was a slogan of Marcos' New Society movement, aimed at projecting the idea of reform, discipline, and modernization. Below the shield is the denomination, 10 centimo, clearly stating its value. 1980 to 10 centimo was struck in aluminum, which made it lightweight, inexpensive to produce, and resistant to corrosion. Its small size and lightness, however, meant it was often overlooked in everyday transactions, even during the time of its circulation. Despite its low monetary value, the coin had symbolic importance, reflecting how every unit of the peso contributed to the Philippine economy. The coin measured 17 millimeters in diameter, and was one of the smallest circulating coins of its time. Because of its size, many Filipinos informally called it barya and often dismissed it as insignificant, but for small purchases in rural markets, it still played a role in daily trade. 1982 was significant in Philippine history, as it was a period of growing economic challenges. The country was experiencing rising foreign debt and inflation. Small denominations, like the 10 centimo, began to lose their purchasing power, but the government continued to mint them to maintain the structure of the Piso coin system. It holds not only a monetary function, but also carries historical, cultural, and national symbolism that reflects the Philippines' rich past and evolving identity. 5 Piso coin of this year still belonged to the new BSP Coin Series, which had been in circulation since 1995. This series was designed to replace older coins and to feature modern anti-counterfeiting elements while continuing to highlight the country's heroes and heritage. On the obverse side, the 20145 Piso coin features the portrait of Emilio Aguinaldo, 1869 to 1960, for the country's first president and a revolutionary leader who played a central role in the Philippine fight for independence from Spanish rule. His appearance on the coin underscores his importance in national history. Aguinaldo is best remembered for declaring Philippine independence on June 12, 1898, in Kawit, Cavite, a historic event that continues to be celebrated as Independence Day. His inclusion on the coin immortalizes his legacy and allows everyday citizens to carry a piece of history in their pockets. The reverse side of the coin bears the official seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP, symbolizing stability, economic governance, and monetary policy. The seal represents the institution's role in maintaining the strength of the Philippine peso, controlling inflation, and ensuring trust in the financial system. The metal composition of the 2014 5 Piso coin is nickel-plated steel, chosen for durability and cost efficiency. This change from earlier bronze or brass compositions reflects the country's adaptation to global economic trends in coin production, where cheaper but strong metals are preferred. The 5 Piso denomination itself has gone through significant transformations over the years. Earlier issues of the 5 Piso were much larger, with the 1975 Flora and Fauna series featuring plants and animals. Later, the Ng Bagong Lipunan ABL series in the 1970s to 1980s carried the new society's political symbols. By the mid-1990s, however, the BSP standardized coin sizes and designs, giving the 5 Piso a more modern appearance and aligning it with the rest of the coin family. The 2014 coin, while part of a widely circulating series, gained importance as it was among the last issues before the Philippines introduced a completely redesigned new generation currency NGC coin series in 2018. In the new series, Emilio Aguinaldo's portrait was replaced by other national themes, meaning the 2014 version represents the final years of his presence on Philippine coinage. From a collector's perspective, the 2014 5 Piso coin is common in circulation, but it becomes significant when preserved in uncirculated or proof condition. Such coins, especially when kept in mint state, are sought after by numismatists. The year 1974 falls under the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos, during the period of martial law, declared in 1970. During this time, the Central Bank of the Philippines was modernizing the nation's currency system to reflect national pride, historical heroes, and modernization. The 1 Piso coin of 1974 was part of the Ng Bagong Lipunan ABL series, which was introduced starting in 1975, but some coins bearing earlier years like 1974 were struck as part of the transitional phase. This series symbolized Marcos' vision of a new society during martial law. Features the portrait of José Rizal, the Philippine national hero, whose writings and martyrdom played a key role in the country's independence movement against Spain. The inscription around the portrait reads, Republica ng Pilipinas, Republic of the Philippines. The denomination 1 Piso is placed prominently. The year 1974 is struck below, displays the coat of arms of the Philippines, symbolizing sovereignty and independence, inscribed with Central Bank of the Philippines in Filipino, along with the national motto, Isang Bansa Isang Diwa, One Nation One Spirit. Composition and specifications: metal, copper, nickel, weight around 14 grams, diameter 38 millimeters, large crown-sized coin, quite hefty compared to modern pesos. This large-sized Piso was meant to emphasize the importance of the Currency during the 1970s, circulation and significance. The 1 Piso 1974 was heavily used in circulation, especially for larger purchases. Because of its size and weight, it was not always convenient for daily use, which eventually led to the downsizing of Piso coins in later years. The coin also marked a strong political statement under Marcos, as currency redesign was tied to the new society. Common circulation strikes of the 1970 for 1 Piso are not rare and are usually worth only their face value or a small premium to collectors. However, uncirculated mint state examples, especially proof-like strikes, can fetch higher value. Coins with historical context, like those preserved during martial law, or with unique minting errors, are more desirable among collectors. In short, the 1970 for 1 Piso coin is not just money, but also a historical artifact representing the Philippines during a politically charged era. It features José Rizal as the enduring symbol of nationalism, while also the 2013 Philippine 10 centimo coin belongs to the new generation currency NGC coin series issued by the Bangko Sentral and Pilipinas BSP. This series was officially released into circulation in March 2018, but the coins were dated 2013 because production began earlier as part of the preparation for the new designs. The NGC coins replaced the older BSP Coin Series, issued from 1995 to 2017, and were intended to modernize the currency, enhance security features, and honor national heritage. Main feature: stylized image of the kappa plant Medanilla magnifica, a flowering plant native to the Philippines. Republica ng Pilipinas, Republic of the Philippines, appears along the upper edge. 2013 is placed at the lower portion of the coin. The kappa plant is known for its large, colorful bracts and symbolizes natural beauty and biodiversity. The 10 denomination with the words centimo below it. The new BSP logo, updated in 2010, featuring a modernized design with 3 stars and a stylized Philippine eagle, minimalist style, focusing on clarity and ease of recognition. The 10 centimo coin is the smallest denomination in the Philippine monetary system. By 2018, due to inflation, its purchasing power was minimal, mainly used for exact change in public transportation fares, market goods, and small transactions. Filipinos considered it less valuable and sometimes overlooked it in daily exchanges, but it still played a role in legal tender. Before 2013, the BSP Coin Series 1995 design featured General Antonio Luna on the 10 centimo coin made of brass-bladed steel. The 2013 NGC coin removed historical figures and instead showcased native flora, promoting environmental awareness. This change also helped reduce coin production costs and improve durability. Circulated condition: face value Philippine peso 0.10. Fun circulated condition slightly more for collectors. -1 Philippine peso 5 Philippine peso 15 depending on rarity in pristine form. Proof or mint sets, higher value, especially as part of the complete 2013 dated NGC set. Key interest point: since these coins bear the date 2013, but were officially released later, they hold minor numismatic curiosity. Even though this coin is worth very little in actual spending, complete sets of NGC coins are increasingly collected because future generations